Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here and welcome to my little pouring bench. So today I am going to live pour a 250 gram, hopefully 250 gram bar. We have here one of the ones which I've already done and created, it just hasn't been sent off for hallmarking yet. Now if you don't know anything about these are Silver Forum branded 250 gram bars. They complement the 1 ounce and the 100 gram bars that we've done for the Silver Forum before. If you want to find out more about these, I've put a link in the description below to the forum post, the forum thread, which I started all about them. But basically, they're going to be a very limited mintage. 25 is the maximum mintage. We've currently got 16 of them reserved. So if you would like one, they are going to be minted to order only, so you need to get in touch and let me know whether or not you would like one. But today I'm going to pour one and show you the actual pouring process, because these are quite complicated little pieces, or let's say little pieces, they're quite big pours actually. Complicated pours to do because of the method which I use, which is all done by eye, all done by kind of judgment and a little bit of muscle memory in there, and just you know, estimating basically what the size should be and when to stop. Now a lot of you out there might be confused as to why I do that. Surely you might think it's easy enough just to put 250 grams of silver in a crucible, pour it out, job done. Well, yeah, you can do that, but basically the way that I pour and the methods that I use, so we've got here a Graphite Crucible, which is the method by which I use to pour out of my furnace. And the graphite degrades, the longer it's in the furnace, the more times you use it, the more it degrades. And if you, this probably can't see very well on the camera, but yeah, there you can see a lot of the graphite dust coming off these crucibles, and that happens during the heating process as well, the inside of the graphite. So you can see there, if I just run my finger in it, very dirty indeed. All of that graphite dust absorbs, I say absorbs, it gets attached to the molten silver. And if you pour all of the silver out of it in one go, I've found through experience that you end up with big schmutzy pieces of silver. There's no other way to really describe it. So these are the slag pieces, as I call them, that are left over at the bottom of a crucible after a heating cycle. So you can see there's this kind of this sort of white graphitey dust. Sometimes it's very black graphite dust as well on these. And if you pour, as I said, the entire weight out into the mould, you end up with this schmutz on the top of a bar. So this is the product of something where you've stopped short, as I call it. You've not poured the entire weight out. The graphite schmutz, for some reason, and I don't really understand the physics of this, perhaps it's because it's less dense than the silver, it stays with the silver right to the very dregs of the crucible. So the last thing that you pour out contains all the schmutz. It doesn't come out first, which is really interesting actually. But because of that, I decide to pour by freehand, by stopping short. Now that does lead to you know, not exact weights, and that's fine. You know, I think this particular bar was like 254 grams, and you know, I have a margin of error which I like to work in between. So anything between obviously 250 and probably around about 258 for me is kind of the limit of how much free silver I want to give away in each pour. And hopefully that transponds to much better results in terms of the way the bars look, the way that they have that kind of really clean ripple lines. You know, if I do get any kind of schmutz coming out on these bars, I give them a quick pickling and a quick cleaning, but sometimes that can alter some of the ripples slightly. So the cleaner I can get it, the better they look, in my opinion. So that's the way it goes. Now we pour into a graphite mould, as you can see here. So basically the next step for me is to wait for the silver to be all heated up and ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start the blowtorch here, and we're going to get the mould all nice and warm. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'll join you all back in a few minutes when the silver is all up to temperature. Okay, so we are back. The silver is up to that magic temperature. I like to pour at about 1075 degrees centigrade. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but over here in the UK we use centigrade. And the mould is all nice and hot, so all that's left to do is pour some silver. Wish me luck. Very nice indeed. So there you can see I stopped short, which meant that a lot of the graphite schmutz, and you can still see some of it on the bar, You can still see some of those little red glowing spots. Those are some of the graphite pollution, but that's not very much. If I'd poured the whole lot in there, there'd been a whole lot more. So now we have to flip it out the mould. It's a really nice piece actually, and you can see how much of a shame that would have been if there was some huge graphite schmutz pollution on there that I had to get rid of. It really would have been a shame to get rid of that. Now, by popular demand of a number of people, they want to see and hear the quenching process. So you don't have to quench silver, you can leave it to naturally cool. I just quench it because it's a damn sight quicker than having it sit there cooling. So it's very much a kitchen table business here in the Backyard Bullion household. I'm using a saucepan full of water, and here we go. That simple. And I'll tell you what, if you want to heat some water up, it's a very good way of doing it, although not necessarily cost efficient. But within seconds, it is cool enough to touch. So that is looking really good. There's an interesting little kind of wave pour line coming up the edge of the bar there. That's very unique, very cool. And that's one thing that's really nice about all of these bars, is that they are all unique, they're all individual. And I will be, after this video at some point, sharing a pouring compilation of all of these bars, so that if you've purchased one or you'd like to purchase one, you can see your bar come to life. Now, the moment of truth. Let's see if we've hit 250 at least. 253. That's good. That is within my margin of error that I like to work towards. As I said, it was between 250 and sort of 58-ish. That's kind of my limit. So now we're going to pop over to the stamping block, and we're going to stamp this bar up and make it into a proper Silver Forum branded bar. Okay, so here we are at the stamping block, or as I have a big anvil. In fact, I bought this anvil off eBay of all places. It was about £25 for a giant, it's like 15 kilo anvil, and I don't know how this company sells them for £15 and actually makes a profit, but there we go. Now I've put a piece of paper on top because when you stamp on this with such force, there is actually a little bit of texturing on this anvil which will transpose onto the base of the silver, and I find if you just put a little piece of paper there, it doesn't actually do that. So we're going to be using a big giant hammer, as you can see. Now it has a lot of weight and heft to it, which is really important when stamping a very big and flat stamp like this, because this needs one hell of a lot of force to actually get the full indent of the Silver Forum logo into the bar. And also, just to work out which way up the bar goes, we've got a kind of quite a deep ripple cooling pool here, which is always nice, but it doesn't mean it's going to be easy to stamp into. So I think I'm going to put the 250 grams there, the Silver Forum logo there, and then we're going to have the 2018 and then the hallmark there, because I think the hallmark was going there, it might be a little bit more complicated for the hallmarkers to do. So we're going to do it this way round. We're going to have the Silver Forum logo in the middle there. So I've done videos showing this Silver Forum stamp being stamped before. It's always a right pain to do, and basically you just have to have a lot of confidence to use it. So I've put it where I want it to go. I'm holding it down with a hell of a lot of force. It's going to be a very loud bang. Wish me luck. So there will be an indent in there now, but it's certainly not as deep as I would like it to be, so I make sure that the stamp hasn't shifted, and I'm going to hit it again. And hopefully, so there we go, we can see the depth of the stamp coming out. It's not quite as deep as I would normally like, so let's go ahead and re-stamp again, making sure that it's in its right place, and we're going to give it a good old hefty whack now. There we go, that's the kind of effect that I like to see. Really nice deep stamp in there, so very chuffed with that. Okay, next thing to do is to stamp the weight on it. So we're actually going to change out the hammer, because this hammer is pretty unwieldy to use at the best of times. So we're now going to go for 250 grams, so we're going to go the 2 at the top. So you guys notice that the silver is incredibly malleable. And I always get asked this when I am stamping these bars, when I'm doing custom made pieces and things like that. How come you don't need to heat the silver up to get it stamped? Well, silver, 999 silver certainly, is incredibly soft, incredibly malleable. It's one of the reasons why it's such an amazing metal, because it has so many versatile properties, and the malleability is certainly one of them. So there's the 250. And then we've got a little lowercase g to put in there. So there we go, 250. Then the next thing to do is to put 2018, just finding which stamps are the right ones. So we're going to try and line it up underneath the Silver Forum logo. There's the 2. I'm constantly losing my stamps, by the way. If ever, I'm sure there are other people out there who do similar things. I try and keep them all as neat as possible, but when I'm using them like this, I'm constantly putting them down somewhere and not remembering where I've put them, which is really infuriating. I've done it again. See, I had the 1 just a second ago, but I've lost it. Here we go. So 2018. Now, getting it exactly where you want it to be can be quite tricky. It's just about care and attention. There we go. So just like that, we have a 2018 250 gram Silver Forum bar. The only last thing to do now is to put the serial number on it. Now this particular bar is unlucky bar number 13. I've been making these all week and I've stamped up a whole bunch of them already, and this one is going to be unlucky number 13. Now incidentally, this bar is currently technically available, and that is because we have got 16 reservations, but somebody wants to have 2 consecutive numbers, and I have got another reservation for bar number 12. So I've currently got 12 and 13 available, and this person wants number 12, but I can't really do that unless somebody else takes number 13. So if anybody out there would like unlucky bar number 13, it would mean that this other person gets the bar of their number choice, which is number 12, instead of number 16. And then the person who wants 2 consecutive numbers would have number 16 and number 17, if that makes sense. I'm not sure I explained that very well, but basically this bar is technically available if somebody would like to grab it. Right, see, I've done it again, I've lost my 0. So we are going to need a 3 and a 1. I'm going to get them out so that I don't lose them. It's the pressure of doing it on camera which does it. So here we go. Number 0. It really is as easy as this. I mean, I'm giving away trade secrets here. Stamping silver really isn't that hard. The difficulty is just getting used to it and having the confidence to do it. So there we go, number 13. So that is all done, and all it needs to do now is go over to the Edinburgh Assay office where it can be hallmarked, and the hallmark will go underneath the 2018. I'm estimating that these bars will be all hallmarked and ready to go by probably the beginning of, or maybe middle of March. That's the plan. Probably be sent off at the end of February, middle of March, to get these all posted out to people. So if you're interested, do let me know. I'm just going to jump out of this now and show you all of the other bars which I've made, all in a row, because they look really very cool. Okay, so here we have the 16 250 gram Silver Forum bars which I have made to date. Now all of these that you see in front of us here have been reserved at the moment, with the half exception of bar number 13, as I explained earlier in the video. This one is technically still available, so if you'd like to have the one that you saw hand poured and stamped live today, then you'd be doing another forum member a great favour, because they would end up with number 12, which was their original choice, instead of number 16. Now the maximum mintage of these bars will be 25. I will not be making more than 25 of these in 2018. I'll be continually to make them to order, so if you want one, you need to let me know, you need to get in touch. The original, or the next sort of estimated hallmarking submission is going to be at the end of February, and then these are all going to go up for hallmarking. So this initial batch of bars will probably be ready for postage mid-March. So if you would like to get one in that time frame, then you need to let me know, obviously, before the end of February, so that I can make them. We've already had the COAs made up, so here are the COAs. We've got a picture of the 250 gram bar on the front there, and then on the back we've got the specifics, 250 gram weights. I'll handwrite the serial number in. We've got maximum mintage of 25. So really, really exclusive mintage. Proceeds from these bars help the Silver Forum, and I think that's the important message to remember here. They're priced at £200 plus postage for a standard member, and £175 plus postage for a premium member. So there's a huge kind of discount if you were to go over to the Silver Forum and sign up as a premium member. Highly recommend the Silver Forum to anybody out there who is looking to get involved. And as I said, proceeds from the sales of these bars go to help the Silver Forum. It's a fantastic place, but it is not a free entity to run. The owner of the Silver Forum does so much work behind the scenes, keeping it running and keeping it running smoothly. You know, membership fees help that, but also the proceeds from the Silver Forum bars projects that we do go to help that as well. So if you're interested in getting involved with the Silver Forum and you want to support them, you can go over, check out the thread. I've put the link in the description below, or you can drop me an email to byb@backyardbullion.com to reserve the remaining numbers. I would love to hit 25 as that mintage, because that would mean we'd have a third row of these bars. Now, I've done this with numerous other projects that I've done in the past, where I've laid all the bars out at the end of the project, but I have to say this is my favourite layout of bars. Whilst there's not as many, the just sheer weight of the bars is amazing. You know, running my hands over them like this, they don't even budge. They are absolutely heavy as heck, and they are really, really cool. So if you are interested, please do get in touch. Otherwise, thumbs up on this video. If you like this kind of video, if you like me doing a live pour at the pouring bench, then let me know. Otherwise, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you hit the little notification bell, you'll get an email notification whenever I upload future videos. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is have a fantastic week ahead of you. Thank you so much for watching, and please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.